Reverend Joanne, come on up.
Well, thank you for staying. Needless to say, I took a wrong turn. I couldn't get on the freeway by my house, and it screwed me up pretty good. So anyway, here I am. I'm happy to see you all. I always think, when stuff, well, of course, I'm all the way over, I'm thinking I'm dreaming anyway. I think I'll wake up any minute, so I'm not too worried about it. It's very typical of my dreams, driving around, taking a wrong turn. When where I am, I'm late. Okay. So, this month we're talking about spiritual delights that sizzle. And what a nice way to think about it. That's the way the leader of the Unity Church has talked about sizzling. He fairly sizzled with enthusiasm, and that was when he was 95. So let's us think about sizzling this month. Last week, Reverend Debbie said, burst forth like fireworks from the spark of a divine idea. And I think this whole idea is just waking up to the good that you are, the waking up to the good that is within us, and we can all do that. So today, are we going to do that? Yeah. Okay. Oh, all right. So today we're going to talk about going nuts, and that is an acronym for never underestimate the Spirit. What does that mean?
It's an amber alert.
Okay.
The Joint Water Commission has issued. It says the Joint Water Commission has issued a boil water advisory for all water users in Crystal, Golden Valley, and New Hope, effective immediately until further notice. Boil water before consumption until further notice. Boiled or bottled water should be used for making ice, drinking, and brushing teeth. Check your city website for updates. I mean, we know this already, but... Which is why we had no coffee, which is why now we have this great caribou coffee. So that's the silver lining. We have some nice caribou coffee here this morning. What? Jeff went and got the coffee. Hey.
So we are going to.
Do you think that ever is going to stop? Okay. So what does it mean to go nuts? Well, let's take a look. Never underestimate the Spirit. And what it means is that every day we can build greater trust in Spirit. Every day we can do that. And how do we do that? By prayer. The more we pray, the more we get prayers answered, the more we trust. It means to deepen our understanding of our relationship to our higher power. Get in touch with that power within. It means to see beyond the physical condition and see the spiritual truth. Going nuts means to know that there's a perfect solution in the mind of Spirit for any perceived dilemma in life. And it means to remember that in every challenge, in every conflict, there is a blessing. Coffee, whatever. So you wander around 20 minutes getting to church. There's a blessing. And Emma Curtis Hopkins used to say, and I demand to see what that blessing is. And it means to surrender the struggle and let Spirit move through you. Like Reverend Debbie likes to say, let God do the heavy lifting. We can do that. Turn it over. And what I like to think about, and we're going to talk about this morning, is staying prayed up. They say, I've seen the term used, pre-prayed. But I cannot possibly say that too many times because it doesn't come out. So when I say being prayed up, it means you pray before something happens. It means you take everything in prayer in the morning. just blessing everything that might come your way. And then in particular, if you know a situation you're going to be in that is going to be challenging for you, specifically pray about that. I think about when I know I'm going to see this particular woman who pushes my buttons. And when I know I'm going to see her, I certainly get prayed up. And what does that mean? It means blessing her, accepting her, letting Spirit know I'm willing to accept her, and to recognize all the good within her that I know is there. And it makes all the difference in the world. If she's at an event and I'm not prayed up, I got to go off into a little corner somewhere and get there, or she will control my day. I don't want that. I want to be in control of me, and we can always do that. You know, we talk about oneness with God. That's one of our big principles, remembering we are one with our higher power. We talk about it, we teach about it, and the trick is, of course, to put it to work every day in our life, instead of thinking, God, where are you? Can you make this happen? Whatever. No, just remember we are one with that higher power. We don't have to get down on our knees and grovel or any of that. That power is within us. And I kind of have to laugh sometimes about how we use prayer. You ever watch a kind of a big deal athletic event? Let's say you're watching a World Series game and the Twins are on this side of the arena and the other team is on the other side, and here's a guy up to bat. And of course on this side, and you see this on TV, these people doing this. You know, they want this guy at the plate to hit a home run. Then you guys on the other side of the arena are, strike him out, please. Yeah, and I'm thinking, and God is sitting there, what do I do? It's just like, what we're talking about when we're talking about prayer is we're talking about kind of activating that connection we have with that power within us. Just like if you turn on a light switch and an electric current goes through. That's what happens with us when we pray. We can turn on that current within. It has nothing to do with groveling or begging. It simply has to do with recognizing that we have that power within. And we can do it proactively. Anytime we know there's something coming up, we can get prayed up. There's a story about a sea captain. He's got a bunch of people on this ship, and he's taking them across a body of water. And suddenly this storm comes up, and this storm is just whipping the ship back and forth, and it's just, the waves are really high, and the wind is blowing, and everybody's getting very worried. And this lady goes up to the captain, and she said, "Captain," she said, "are we in serious trouble?" He looks at her and he says, "Ma'am, I have to tell you the truth. Now would be a good time for us all to think of God and pray." She looks him straight in the eye and she says, "Oh no, has it come to that?" Don't we do that? Don't we do that? Use God, prayer as the last resort? It's just a traditional idea. We wait till the last minute. And I don't like when I hear people say, all we could do was pray. Because you know what they've done. They've left it as the last resort. All we could do was pray. Let's start with prayer. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that. She says, my tendency when there's a challenge is to just jump all over it. I can do this, and I can do this. I can call this person, and I can activate this, and do this, and do that. And then she said, about 8th on the list is, pray. She says, I'm realizing now I got to take that number 8, make it number 1. That's how we make our lives better. That's how we enhance our lives. And again, we're not talking about begging or beseeching, because we know that power has been given to us. That power is within, and we know we don't have to call out to some God on a cloud someplace. That power is within, and we can just speak our truth and how important it is to do it. We have the opportunity to do it every day, all the time, anytime. Abraham Lincoln tells a story. He said, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree with an axe, he said, I would spend 6 hours sharpening that axe, making the job easy for him. He said, most people, when they have a big job to do, they just charge right into it and hack away at that problem without honing their axe, without going to make the preparations for it. And for us, honing our faith is that idea of spending some time in prayer and meditation every day. That's how we get sharp. That's how we make our lives easier. So the idea is to be prepaid. When we do that, when we're prayed, we have more focus. When we're prayed up, our stress decreases. We function better as people. And so again, we always have an opportunity. Martin Luther said, he says, I have so much to do today, I'll need to spend another hour on my knees. And that's exactly what he was saying. When we have a lot on our plate, so important to spend some time in prayer and meditation. Eric Butterworth, he likes to talk about our prayer coming to us, spirit coming to us as a radio frequency. Our higher powers, and Michael Beckwith said this when he was talking to us about visioning. He said, the universe is always broadcasting, and we're the receptor. And how important it is to spend time in prayer and meditation so we're willing to be open to that. Eric Butterworth says we have to be in tune with the infinite. We have to tune ourselves to be receptive and hear, and we can do it. And when we do it, we're empowered with an experience of our own connectedness with God, that power within. Holmes wrote, there's nothing in the universe that limits you or that would or could desire to limit you. There's nothing in the universe that withholds from you, because in so doing it would withhold from itself. You are some part of this purpose. The Spirit seeks, urges, pushes against you to fulfill itself. We are vehicles for that power that is our Creator to experience life in, through, and as each of us. So we always have to, the horn of plenty gives us the good, right? But we have to be the receptacle. We have to be open to receive it. As we give thanks before the appearance, just like Jesus did, seems like he always thanked before something happened, we can then be more open to increasing our acceptance. There's a French surgeon and biologist named Dr. Alexis Carrel who said, prayer is not only worship, it is an emanation of a human's spirit, the most powerful form of energy that can be generated. The influence of prayer on the human mind and body is as demonstrable as that of secreting glands. As a physician, I have seen men and women, after all other therapy has failed, lifted out of disease and melancholy by the supreme effort of prayer. I think we've all either experienced it or seen it happen to somebody we know or heard about that. Prayer is the source of luminous and self-generating energy. So then there's those times where we pray, we do that stuff, we do our meditation, we pray, we declare things that we would desire in our life, and it doesn't seem to be there. Where is it? And I think of Garth Brooks' song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayer. I don't know if any of you remember it, but it's just, the song is about Garth Brooks, when he's younger, has this girlfriend. What you doing? Why is that? Oh, Garth Brooks said when he was younger, he had this girlfriend who he was just like, oh, he loved her so much, he wanted her so much, and he was praying, give me this woman in my life, I'll be happy forever. And didn't work out. And so years later, here he is with his loving wife, and they run into this ex-girlfriend at a football game, and he really realizes what a blessing that was, that God didn't answer that prayer. Thank God for unanswered prayers. He found a really wonderful woman that he was very happy with. So we don't want to judge by appearances. When things, we don't get them right away, despite appearances, I know there is something moving in the unseen for my greater good. And that is the truth. We can count on that, even though things don't look like we think they should look. We can believe and know there is something moving. It was kind of like on my way here today. I comforted myself saying, I don't know why this is happening. I mean, I figured I was dreaming, but beside that, I just thought, whatever it is, whatever reason this is for me to be bopping around the Twin Cities getting lost, so it is, and I will take the blessing and know that everything is always in divine order. And again, we can do this any time. Doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. It could be when you're lost on Lake Street. And I mean, I was weaving through these homeless people and picking up trash. I mean, it was a little dicey. That's when I was talking to you. So it's always with us. But sometimes we just overlook it. We simply overlook the fact that that power is with us. There's a story of a teenage boy that got a really pretty high quality watch when he was younger. And he really enjoyed that watch, and he thought he took pretty good care of it. And one day it wasn't working, so he thought he better take it to the jeweler because it was kind of valuable. Takes it to the jeweler, and the jeweler fixes it. And he says, but you have to take better care of this watch. And the guy says, well, what do you mean? What do I need to do differently? He says, what you want to do is you want to wind it first thing in the morning. If you do that, it'll help the watch deal with the stresses of the day. And how appropriate that is for all of us. If we stay prayed up and do that in the morning, we will have a better day. When things happen, those stresses won't knock us off our game. So it's not just about that watch, it's about all of us, and knowing that we need that inner winding as well. In Sanskrit, that's the language of Hinduism, the word for prayer is pela. Pela. It's spelled P-A-L-A-L, and it means judging oneself as wondrously made. Isn't that nice? And when we know and remember we're wondrously made, we remember we have that power within us, and that our prayers are not some wish and a hope and a pleading to somebody sitting on a cloud somewhere. Our prayers are from inside. We have that power within, the perfect power within. I was going to have Colleen do a reading this morning from the book that we use in prison, The Perfect Power Within. And she had some problems at home and couldn't make it today. But that is exactly the kind of thing we have to remember, that there is a perfect power within you. That's what we tell the prisoners. There's a perfect power within you. We can all use it. We can all be buoyed up by it. It can enhance our lives anytime. No special place we have to be for this to happen. So this week, Here's an experiment you could do. Take this week and take 10 minutes in the morning and just pray, and pray for good, good, and more good. Put aside any of the worries you have. Don't be dipping into that. Just put that aside and just speak your word for good, good, and more good in your life. Take your sights off what isn't working and just speak your word for those things that you desire that are all good. So, just to review in this going nuts idea, never underestimate the Spirit, and that is the truth. And we can do it anytime and anywhere. We can, day by day, build a bigger trust in Spirit, deepen your understanding of your relationship with the divine, see beyond the physical, see with your spiritual eyes, and know that God always makes a way where there appears to be none. There's a perfect solution in the mind of God for any perceived dilemma. Recognize that in every challenge there's a blessing, and like Emma Curtis Hopkins says, just demand to know what it is, and finally surrender that struggle to Spirit and let God do that heavy lifting. So I would invite you to take a deep breath and just relax in your chair right now as I do a spiritual mind treatment, which I don't know if you talked about this. We're tending more to call it affirmative prayer, all the same. And I will say it in first person as though I'm saying it for myself, but it is also for you. I know there is but one power in the universe, and that power is all good. It is peace, it is love, it is joy, it is balance, it is order. It is the perfect solution to any perceived dilemma in life, and I know I am one with that very power that created everything. And I know that power experienced life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me. And even though I know my oneness with the higher power, and I know that perfect power is within me, I know that I can access it at any time. There are times when I forget about that, when I don't do that. When I go into battle with that dull axe that Abraham Lincoln was talking about, charge right in without my prayers. And sometimes rather than turning into prayer or tuning into prayer, that option drops off to number 8. I speak my word right now. I set my intention that I move that option to number 1. That's where I go when I want to handle any kind of dilemma in my life. And I now remember that the universe is always broadcasting, and I am the receiver. I simply need to be open. And I remember, like that jeweler said about the watch, to take the time every morning to take care of myself within through prayer and meditation. So I now set this attention to go nuts, never underestimate the Spirit, and in gratitude that this is the way that life works. It is done unto me as I believe. I release these words to the law for perfect manifestation, and so it is.